I'm Bob Shaw, former manager of MNA. Governor, I'd like to ask you if you believe we need new legislation in gun control laws.
Well, that's a tough one. You know, I can't say at this point I know what would be effective. We all want to reduce gun violence. We all want to keep these horrible, assaults from very deranged people. The question is what public policy measures would accomplish any of that. I met yesterday with Hamilton County Sheriff Rich Standing and Ramsey County Sheriff Matt Bostrom, and they pulled together the sheriffs, look at some of the gaps in reporting of people who have been incarcerated, people who have been committed to mental institutions. The law enforcement, particularly sheriffs, don't have when they're considering permit applications for buying handguns or concealed carry. And that's something where we can focus and say, yeah, if law enforcement tells us that make a big difference, they'd like to see that expanded to the point where when that police officer in Lake City went to that doorstep about a year and a half ago, he was aware from the computer screen that young man had been committed to mental institutions before and was, might act erratically accordingly. So anything we can, and school safety, Commissioner Caselius is working on that, along with Commissioner of Public Safety, Bowman. As the federal government takes some of these steps, broad steps that are nationwide in terms of future purchases of assault weapons or limiting the clips that can go in them, and then we'll have some people will disagree with it, but I would say probably a viable approach. But doing it as one state is going to make a difference. And as you all know, there are a whole lot of people in Minnesota whom the Second Amendment is sacrosanct, and it is, I think, an oath of office to hold the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution of Minnesota. So we're trying to balance all that out, and there's no easy answers. My friend Tom Hartman and I always say, for every complex problem, there's always a simple answer, and it's almost always wrong. But again, all good ideas are welcome. The legislature definitely will be taking that subject up. It'll get a lot of public input. I'll be involved, and we'll hope something productive will come out of it. At least something productive will come out of the session.
Governor, thank you for taking my question. I heard you say a little bit ago that Hunter Morgan's from the dispatch and record. I heard you say a little while ago that the largest employer in the state is Mayo.
Private,
I would suggest that the 700 members that are here at this convention today represent a small army of probably more than that. And the 7% or whatever the tax is going to be on these services of the newspaper is going to be a serious problem for a lot of small newspapers. There will be people who lose their jobs.
Well, as I said before, then tell me where to cut $1.1 billion to make up for the deficit, and then beyond that, to do anything more for education, for job development, and I mean that's the reality that I face. I walked into this situation, and this is what I inherited. It was predicted, the forecast made before I took office, and remains the prediction, and the legislature is in the same boat. Whether we face those problems, the financial problems in previous administrations, previous legislative sessions, and so we can't start with a clean slate, but we don't. And there's no way to make a budget that has to pick up an extra $1.1 billion look good. If there is, I don't know what it is. So I can't say, that this is not going to have an effect. This won't have an effect that we wish we could avoid. As I said before, if I can lower everybody's taxes, I'd be popular and be a lot more fun to go to places like this. But and in the end, those who think that's the option, a challenge as they did for the last 2 years, that where are you going to cut? Who are you going to cut? How much are you going to cut? What's going to happen to them? Nursing home providers have not had a raise in over 4 years. Care attendants have not had a raise. Child care providers have not had a raise. They're all saying, we can't retain good employees. We can't provide the quality of care that the people right expect that are elderly and others. I mean, these are tough choices, tough decisions. And I don't want anybody out of work. I also want to make the investments that I think are going to be crucial to, as I said before, the next generations that aren't doing the work. Just as an aside, Microsoft representative said the other day that Microsoft currently has 3,600 vacancies for people with computer science degrees or experience. The starting salary is $105,000 a year. The benefit package bumps about $200,000 a year. Some of my staff immediately started filling out applications. But, you know, one of the things we need to do, and Chancellor Rosenstone is very aware of this, is align our post-secondary education with the jobs of the future rather than jobs of the past. And I've heard from businesses all over the state. They have, it's actually a grand total of 62,000 jobs in Minnesota now going wanting because there aren't qualified people who are applying for them. So if we want to rectify that, that takes an investment in those institute campuses to take those, especially the technology and the equipment necessary to upgrade and bring to a state of the art. I mean, it doesn't come otherwise. So those are the balances we have to try to make, and they're not fun, and they're not easy, and they're not popular. And you know, but if I walk out of here in 2 years, which is increasing likelihood every day, I want people to look back and say, well, he did what he thought was right for Minnesota, and he may not be correct every time, but more often than not. And I'm sure I'd have that on my tombstone that some of the folks pushed out of Washington, they avoided the problems for 8 years, and now they're multiple or worse. And, I can't look at that.
Hi, Governor. This is Matt McMillan from the Lincoln Independent Age. Did you consider a tax on online purchases when you were looking at your package? And if somebody buys a subscription online versus over the counter, would that not be taxed?
Well, it's an excellent suggestion. We proposed it last year to the legislature, and the no new taxes ideology that prevailed, it was rejected by the legislature. It was supported by Best Buy, by Target, by retail associations because of that very reason. It creates an unfair advantage for online purchases. The real fix, I'm told, again, I wish Commissioner of Revenue might have transferred here and invited all you want a deeper discussion, but is a federal online tax. That would be, Margaret says, $400 million of additional revenue for the state of Minnesota every year. We multiply that by all the other states in the nation who are also strapped financially, and you say, wow. And I'm going to bring it up to the National Revenue Association a month from now and say, don't we want to make common cause about this? I mean, it's fairness, and it protects our hometown businesses, and it brings in revenues that are now being escaped taxation unfairly, and well need the money. So, again, we're going to do what we can to save a little bit, but much more would have to be done at the federal level and keep our elected officials there to do so.
We apologize, but this will be the last question.
Hello, Governor. I'm from the Pine City Pioneer in Pine County, and the Pine County Sheriff wrote an open letter last week saying he would refuse to carry out any presidential executive order relating to gun control. As Chief Executive of the state, what's your reaction to this statement, and would you support the Sheriff in his decision?
I would hope that the citizens of Pine County will look seriously at their statements made by their county sheriff and the views of that sheriff of the other 86 other county sheriffs of the state next time he's up for election.